I didn't even download Twitter. Everything, all the recruiting's on Twitter, and I didn't even download that till my sophomore year. And that was only because after sophomore year, I ended up with some good stats
Hmm.
at the end of the year, and Coach Bo started bringing me into his office, started talking with coaches, and started inviting me to camps and telling me like, follow me on Twitter and
Yeah.
all this that. And I was
So
like,
you had to get social
yeah,
media
I had to
savvy at that
get
time, right?
I had to find out, how to use Twitter and all that, look them up
Yeah.
and follow them and start texting them on there. And yeah, once that started, I was like, okay, this could really be
This could
something.
be something.
This could be something. And at the time, I don't know, I was just starting to get tall. I was still kind of scrawny,
Yeah.
so maybe a little over 200 pounds. So um,
Do
yeah,
you, have you do you like to lift weights?
I love it. You have to.
Support for Homegrown is provided by Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, proudly serving Eastern North Carolina since 1967.
They grew up on our fields, on our courts, in our towns. And now they've taken that hometown pride to the college stage. This is Homegrown. Real athletes, real stories, big dreams.
Welcome to Homegrown, the show where we spotlight hometown athletes who carry the spirit of their community wherever the game takes them. Today's guest is a great example of what this series is all about. From Friday night lights at Jacksonville High School to Saturdays inside Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, he's a player who never forgot where he came from, even as his role, position, and path continued to evolve. Miles Parker made a name for himself at Jacksonville High School as a multi-sport standout, earning recognition as one of the area's top defense players and drawing interest from several college programs along the way. Ultimately, he chose East Carolina University, a decision that led to growth on the field, in the classroom, and within one of the most demanding programs in the state. Along the way, he's embraced a position change, earned academic honors, and has become a part of back-to-back bowl wins with victories at NC State and Pittsburgh. This is a story about patience, versatility, pride, and staying connected to home while chasing something bigger. Miles Parker, welcome to Homegrown.
Thank you.
All right, man. Listen, let's get started where we need to start at the beginning. You grew up in Jacksonville, played multi sports at a high level. I think you played lacrosse and football, correct?
Right.
So when you think back on your time at Jacksonville High School, what did it mean representing the school, the community, your family, and
Yeah,
Jacksonville?
I mean, Jacksonville's a special place. It's one of those places where you go to any kind of game, you know, any kind of game in high school, and there's always a packed home crowd.
Yep.
Especially football. There's never an open seat. You got people standing in the end zone, standing on the side of the fence, cheering loud. It's just a special place. And then, lacrosse, it's only us on the north side around here that has a team. And I mean, that's a cool opportunity to play because it hasn't been around forever.
Yeah.
So, and it's another contact sport thing also.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so my nephew, who was several years older than you, but when he was in middle school, went to Newbridge football, and at the end of football season, one of his teammates said, "Hey, my dad is about starting a lacrosse or a lacrosse league, which ended up being Onslow Tribe, the lacrosse league."
I played with Onslow.
Did you?
Tribe, yeah.
So he's like, "Hey, come on and play." And my nephew was like, "Man, I don't know anything about lacrosse." And he was like, "Well, we get to wear pads and people." And he was like, "Okay." I mean, so
Yeah.
anyway, so that got him hooked. So 4-year starter at lacrosse, 3-year varsity starter at football. How did being a multi-sports athlete shape the way that you compete and prepare?
Well, you're always preparing for the next season. When you get on football, prepare for lacrosse. When you get on lacrosse, prepare for football again next season. So, it always keeps you training on the off season, getting ready to play, compete.
Yeah, it probably keeps your mind sharp too.
Right.
Not just physically, but mentally, it keeps your mind sharp. I bet,
Yeah,
right?
It keeps you on top of things. It keeps the slack out.
Which is always a good
Yeah.
thing. So your sophomore year was when you really started drawing college attention, and that picked up due in part to a deep run that you guys made in the playoffs. Was the state championship game, or was it the year you was in the regional?
That's the game we lost to the regional J.H. Rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys made a deep run. When did you first realize that football could maybe take you to the next level?
You know, I didn't even download Twitter. You know, everything, all the recruiting's on Twitter, and I didn't even download that till my sophomore year. And that was only because after sophomore year, you know, I ended up with some good stats at the end of the year, and Coach Bo started bringing me into his office, started talking with coaches, and started inviting me to camps and telling me, like, you know, follow me on Twitter and all this, that. And I was
So you had to get social media savvy at that time, right?
I had to find out, you know, how to use Twitter and all that. Look them up, and follow them and start texting them on there. And yeah, once that started, I was like, okay, this could really be something.
This could be something.
This could be something. And you know, at the time, I don't know, I was just starting to get tall. I was still kind of scrawny.
Yeah.
So you know, maybe a little over 200 pounds. So
Do you like to lift weights?
I love it. You have to.
Oh, did you always, or was it something during that time? Was it something that you said, "Hey, man, if I'm going to do this, I got to hit the weight room"? No, Coach Bo is lifting.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, man.
So when I was young, I was always like an active kid. I wasn't an iPad kid. I was outside. You know, we grew up on a farm out there in Maple Hill.
Okay.
So I'm always outside. I got 3 brothers, or you know, or 2 brothers, 1 sister. But she stuck with us for good, and you know, always outside doing stuff and always being active. You know, so it wasn't really that hard to start working out. And then I didn't lift weights. I didn't even lift weights until my freshman year.
Yeah.
And when I got into Coach Bo's 4th period weight training program, that was
It's on.
Then it got real.
Yeah.
And you know, then the mark was hit 205 before your sophomore year and ended. And then the mark was 315 to get on the wall. And you know, I always wanted to. I would like to be the best at something.
Hey, man,
you know,
those things in a buddy. That's
so
exactly.
I started doing it up by myself. You know, going before school, and then working out again at school. So you know, then it became a routine.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
Senior year, breakout, man. All area, all district, all conference. Several different offers. What clicked for you that season? What was it?
I guess like all the work in the off season started paying off. Like you know, I was seeing little results, you know, throughout high school. Like my junior year, I didn't have a bad year that year. But my senior year, football really started getting easy.
Yeah.
And it was way more fun. And you know, I guess everything just started clicking. I was, you know, a lot of opportunities to make big plays. So yeah.
Just in the right place at the right time, and made it happen.
Made it happen.
That is awesome. So a ton of D1 offers. You ultimately chose East Carolina. And looking back on all the offers you received, what factored most as you evaluated the schools, and then what ultimately felt right for you about East Carolina?
So I had a bunch of small schools like FCS, like LIU, Stonehill, like small, like A&T, North Carolina Central.
Yeah.
Had schools like that. But I really wanted to go somewhere where I felt like football was the most important. Like on Saturdays, we had a full crowd, and you know that people cared about it.
Whole atmosphere, the
Right.
tailgating of the fans, and just everybody's just stoked for Saturdays, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, I even got an offer from Navy, which is a pretty prestigious.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that was an honor, but I felt like that wasn't, you know, somewhere I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, I went up there, I visited. You know, I didn't mind it, and you know, everyone up there was really great. It should be a good time.
It's more than football, dude. It's
more than football.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let me just kind of, it wasn't the Naval Academy, but I was in, so I went down to the Citadel, which is a military school, not as prestigious as the Naval Academy, but it is a mindset, and it is just something that you you just got to understand that football is part of what you do with that. It's the academics, but then it's just my hair was always a little bit longer, and I didn't want to get the haircut, dude. I didn't want to do it, so had to like round the corner. Couldn't walk on the sidewalk as a freshman, as a plebe or whatever.
Yeah, the
had to walk
plebe.
in the gutters, and I was like, yeah, that's not. And I really, folks, I talked to Mackenzie Morrow, who's playing soccer up there. I really admire all the kids, young adults that try to do it just for me.
No, yeah, exactly.
So I know where you come from.
But Mackenzie got a great opportunity. She took it. For the most part, I think she loves it up there. So I'm glad that worked out for her. But
that wasn't for Miles.
No, wasn't for Miles. And ECU, and then ECU gave me an opportunity to play there, and I've always been a ECU fan.
Okay.
It's an hour and a half away.
Far from home.
From home. So the same people that watch you on Friday nights, the same people that are gonna be watching you on Saturday nights. So, that played a big part in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your first year at ECU required some adjustment, new expectations, new high level of competition, and learning what it takes to contribute at the D1 level. So talk a little bit about that transition from high school to college.
Yeah, you're back at the bottom again. You went to your highs from high school. You were a senior, felt invincible.
Yeah, you're a big fish in a little pond too, right?
And then you get to university where there's thousands and thousands of people walking around campus. Faces you've never seen before. Your team has grown. Everyone's there to compete and play. So you just gotta prove yourself every day, and don't take anything for granted, because you never know what's gonna happen.
So it was a quite adjustment hearing what you're saying, not only from the football perspective, but socially. I mean, from the social perspective, from the classes. You probably classes of 30, 40 kids, and you probably took some classes where you had 100, 150 kids in classes and stuff like that.
Yeah, every sit was full.
And every sit was full. And the biggest thing, of course, a little bit different with the football program. You did kind of have somebody monitoring you, but for the most part, Mama wasn't there to say, Miles, get up and go to school, right? Yeah. Exactly. So that's always a tough one too. So, but you did stand out. You found a way to stand out your freshman year, and I think this is awesome. You didn't see the field much with the starters and playing time, but asked you to be on the scout team.
Right.
And just like you said earlier in this conversation, you want to be the best of the best. So you found out that there was a scout team champion of the year, which I would call scout team MVP. And you pretty much set your goals that, hey, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And that's what you earned, scout team champion of the year. So talk about that, but also talk about what that season taught you about work ethic, role acceptance, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it wasn't unusual to be on scout team as a freshman, and when I found out the scout team champion, I went into every week saying, there's a bunch of us on the scout team. We had two different teams of scout team on defense that would take turns, and I started to get to the point where I wasn't letting anybody. I was playing every single rep, giving it all I could, and I thought it was important too, because you're there to help the offense play the best they can on a defense. Like, if we're getting ready for App State, I got to be the best at App State's defense.
Yeah.
And I had to play up, because those guys are, they may be seniors, juniors, a whole different skill level. So it was mainly, wanting my team to win, and then me being the best I could be.
That is amazing, because you played a direct role every week in the success of East Carolina University football by you giving it your all. And and I hate to sound so cliche-ish, but if you've ever watched the movie Rudy, the same way that he goes about being on the scout team, that's how you attack it. And I never forget, in one of the scenes, one of the guys that was a high recruit on the offense, he and Rudy get into a fight because he's kind of, and he's
taking it easy.
He's taking it easy, and Rudy's out there and says, "If I don't do my job, then you're not going to do your job Saturdays, man."
Exactly.
That's amazing. I just think that's awesome. That's awesome. This season, things changed.
Yeah, they did.
You played played every game, played all special teams, position change. So you moved from defense and getting to hit people to tight end, getting the block,
Right.
maybe catch a pass every now and
Yeah,
then.
he did.
Maybe catch a pass every now and then. So, first, talk about how it felt to the work you put in, not just your freshman year, but the whole time during high school. And then that translates into Saturdays, man.
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, my freshman year, was just trying to make the dress list on Saturdays, and then not everyone got to dress. You had to be a scout team player of the week to dress,
Yeah.
and so I went from just trying to make the dress list or trying to make the travel squad to then trying to get more minutes on the field. Um, but yeah, it felt good. Work finally paid off. I remember my first game running out onto the field this season, knowing I was going to play snaps for
That's
ECU,
awesome.
and it gave me chills because it's everything you've worked for and so much more playing in Dowdy Field.
Did you sleep the night before?
No, I couldn't.
Do you? I mean,
couldn't.
no, man. I look. I know you couldn't, dude. I mean, it's that.
Yeah,
I know it's
I
that
couldn't.
feeling, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it feels great, and it feels good to be able to participate.
Yeah.
I did my job, freshman year, preparing them to play, and I didn't play. I didn't play on weekends, so it felt good to do my part on the weekends.
That's
too.
man, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So when I was talking to a teammate of yours, I guess he's graduated now, Tamir Brown, two military bowl wins in a row.
Right.
I would dare say, as a UNC guy, I'll admit it. ECU right now, last year's probably the best team in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Y'all had a coaching change last year. Coach Harrell's come in. I think since he's been, I think I saw the stat, 14-5.
He's a great.
Since he's been there, man. So you guys are rocking and rolling, and you played a major role in that with those bowl victories. What do moments like that mean to you when you think about your journey and everything?
I mean, it's a blessing. It's hard to win college football games, and it's really hard to win bowl games.
Yeah.
I mean, time you're playing an opponent that you don't normally play.
And y'all playing this last one, y'all were playing a ref.
Yeah.
The crazy phantom call, but yeah. But anyway,
Yeah, I was in on that play.
Oh, were you really?
And I remember, I blocked the guy on the ground, and I remember looking up. We were scoring, and
you were just like,
I was so excited, and then I was like, what could the
yeah, the
there was
phantom
no
whistle,
flag.
yeah, no flag
There
or
was
anything.
no flag or anything, and they called it.
And then they come back and get a turnover.
Yeah, they had a
Strip sack
and turned it into a touchdown.
That's a 12-point swing. I mean, I count the extra points. 12-point swing.
Yeah, and that can really ruin you.
Yeah.
But
you guys didn't let it down. I mean, y'all pounded back, and it was awesome. So,
but bowl games, yeah, they're awesome. We go up there for a week. We spend the week up there, and just be around your teammates and around all your coaches. This time, military bowls over Christmas.
yeah,
So you're there with them on Christmas and I think the next. So it's a good time. It's definitely something to look back on.
and I don't know if you thought about this. I'm sure you probably did. Very ironic. Military Bowl, Annapolis, Maryland, U.S. Naval Academy.
Yeah.
You went back.
My freshman year, I was like, well, dang,
I'm gonna play here now, right?
I got to play here after all.
Wow.
So, that was kind of weird. And then again this year, I mean, but it was a
cool experience. So even at the college level, man, you're still repping Jacksonville. You're still repping your family. Still repping Jacksonville High School. Every time you put on the uniform, how important is it, that hometown connection to you?
Yeah, like I said, Jacksonville's only an hour and a half, and then people that watch me on Friday nights are watching again Saturday night. So, it means a lot, and not everyone from Jacksonville gets an opportunity like this. So there's a few of us that most of the time, they don't really get that opportunity. So try to make it count. Try to make them proud.
Yeah.
The guys I played with, we're all tight. I still hang out with guys I graduated from.
Yeah, because there's several, and there's also several guys from Jacksonville, from South, a couple other programs in the county that are up at East Carolina right now as well, right?
We have an O lineman from Southwest. We have Josh Bent, we have Tamir, and Damari Gant, and Yeah, there's a crowd of us up there, so we're just there trying to.
You brought Jacksonville to Greenville.
We did, yeah,
That's
we
or
did.
Onslow
Yeah,
County, man. How about that?
yeah.
So let me ask you this. This is the last question. Well, I've got one more question, but this is the last question. And then I've got some that I haven't shared with you. It's called rapid fire. If you've watched any of our shows, we do some rapid fire stuff. So, but the last question before that, for young athletes in Onslow County watching you, what do you want them to understand about patience, work, and just simply believing in themselves?
You gotta always believe in yourself. Without belief in yourself and believing that you can do it, I mean, you're the one that can make it go. You've got to get out of bed and go work out. You've got to put extra work in. You got to stay late after practice. It's always first thing people are gonna notice is how hard you work, and when you do that, everything else seems to fall in place, and that's always how I've done it,
That's
and
awesome.
that's how I grew up doing it. So, there's one thing I can say is never let anyone say that you don't work hard. Always be the hardest worker.
That's
how I
awesome.
do
That's a great philosophy, man. So rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind. Okay,
it. All
here we go. Favorite Jacksonville High football memory?
right. Favorite Jacksonville High football memory. Um, that's got to be my sophomore year going that deep in the
In the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Practicing on Thanksgiving, always a
That's
goal.
always a cool thing.
It's
Yeah.
always a goal. But that year really was special. I looked up to all those seniors
Yeah.
so much, and all those upperclassmen, and they took me in, and we all had a good time that year.
That's
That was fun.
that's
It's fun to
awesome.
win.
Yeah.
It's fun to win.
Fun to win.
Yeah.
Now you're a defensive stud, now playing offense. Favorite NFL player growing up?
Growing up, it was either Marshawn Lynch or Luke Kuechly.
Luke, man, I love him. He's up for the Hall of Fame this year.
Yep.
First time. He should
He
get in.
deserves it.
He deserves to get in. And Marshawn Lynch punishing running back.
I used to play. I played running back my whole career up until I got to high school.
Did you?
So I thought I was beast mode. I always ran north and south with my head down. So that's who I
Did you
had
have Skittles on sidelines, would you?
No Skittles.
No Skittles.
Just off my forehead.
Favorite teacher in high school?
Favorite teacher in high school? It had to be Miss Downs. Wait, no, not Miss Downs. I should say my coaches, but I'm not.
That's all right.
Coach Blick is probably my favorite.
Okay. Offensive line coach.
Offensive line coach,
And what did he teach you?
American history.
American history.
That was a great class. I really did learn so much that year.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Toughest adjustment, college speed or college playbook?
Playbook. Oh my goodness.
Just especially I bet on the offensive side, right?
Especially being playing defense for all of high school, all of my freshman year, and then switching over the offensive playbook is something else. It definitely takes time to learn. It takes reps to learn. You can't just look at it and know what to do. You've got to practice it. You've got to play it. You've got to play out situations. That's probably the hardest.
Listen, I want to go back and ask another question. I want to leave rapid fire because I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question because I think it just highlights what just a well-rounded guy you are, man. You've constantly been on the dean's list. You earned American Conference All Academic Honors. So, man, that's awesome. Congratulations. I wanted to put I meant to get this in there. I'm sorry. So, how important was it to you to prove you could excel academically alongside football?
Well, Coach Bo, he didn't let us slack in high school. He kept our GPAs, and his wife, Miss Annie, worked there on the first building, so she knew everything. But I kind of took that, to high school or to college, and you're there. At the end of the day, you're there to get an education, and a lot of people get to go to college and play ball and get an education. So I try, back to being the best you can be, doing whatever it is the best you can do. So,
well, congratulations on the American Conference honors, man. That's all. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, what's your go-to restaurant in Greenville?
In Greenville, I love Texas Roadhouse in Greenville.
All right,
they give us a little gift card money, spend sometimes when we don't need that at the facility, and that's on there. And a crowd of us get to go and we get about $20 go and spend there and eat.
That's awesome,
that is
man.
my favorite.
So you grew up outdoors a lot. You said with your brothers and sister. Did you play video games, or do you play NCAA football?
No.
Okay,
No,
so
no.
you don't play NCAA football now.
No.
All right.
And I probably should.
Have you looked, or anybody told you you gotta be a player on there, right?
I don't know.
I talked to Tamir.
Yeah.
Tamir plays. I asked him what his rating was. He told me it was a 75. I said, "Is that high or low?" He said, "Man, I think that's low. I think it's about an 82."
Yeah.
So, if Miles Parker had an NCAA player on the game, what would your rating be?
I guess you're talking about like blocking and
Yeah, all your
whatever.
all your skill sets.
That's probably pretty high, blocking and hitting and stuff like that. But if you go like running routes and speed and like catching and stuff like that, that might be lower.
Okay.
I might say in the 70s.
All right, cool, man. Favorite special teams role, because you played all four special teams. What team did you like best?
It had to be kickoff. You just run down there full speed and hit the first person you see. That was my job on kickoff.
Yeah.
Was to go down there and rip somebody. So they moved me around like different running lanes on kickoff, depending on what the team did. And my job was to go down there and hit somebody. So
That's awesome.
That had to be my favorite.
That is awesome. One word to describe your college journey. Just one word.
One word. I would say consistent.
Okay. One word to describe Jacksonville High School football.
That's a lot to put in one word. I would have to say, man, advanced.
Advanced. Okay. One word that describes ECU football.
Rowdy.
Rowdy. I love that one.
Yeah.
Last rapid fire, and then I've got one more question. Dream moment you're still chasing.
Dream moment I'm still chasing is being that one on the roster.
Yep.
I got to play a little bit. I got to play special teams and play a couple of tight end snaps a game this year, but we're not finished.
No.
I'm not satisfied with that. So is walking down the field, first drive of the game, as defense or offense, and that first play, that first in Dowdy is something special.
So what would you rather do? Pancake somebody blocking, or catch a touchdown pass in Dowdy Field Stadium?
I'm definitely pancaking somebody.
You are?
Yeah.
That's going to happen regardless.
Yeah,
right?
it's going to happen regardless. It would be pretty cool to catch a touchdown, but I love taking some pain on somebody. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Miles Parker's journey is exactly what Homegrown is about. Growth, patience, and staying true to where it all began. From Jacksonville High School to East Carolina, from defense line to tight end, and from high school standout to bowl winner, his journey shows that success is always about the fastest path. It's a steady progress and commitment. Just like those back-to-back bowl wins, Miles Parker's story is built on consistency, belief, and doing things the right way. Miles, thank you for representing Jacksonville, ECU, and everything Homegrown stands for. And to everyone watching, remember, no matter how far the game takes you, your roots always come with you. I'm Steve Goodson, and this has been Homegrown, real athletes, real stories, and big dreams. Again, thank you for joining us, man. Enjoyed it. See you next time.
Support for Homegrown is provided by Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, proudly serving Eastern North Carolina since 1967.